Yo, neighbors. All right, so I have a lot of different ideas that I want to share and some reviews that I want to do. But before I get into something like this, this, these, this big guy, or even this big guy, before I can get into anything like this, I first have to deal with this. So before I can get any of my ideas or reviews out there, I really got to organize. So over the years, I've collected, and I know that a ton of other people have too, and you end up with just loose figures everywhere. And you end up putting them in boxes or in bags, or you try to organize them in Ziploc bags, and I find that doesn't really work. I have two solutions, I think, that can help come up with an idea to organize. And instead of having all these different sized boxes or bags throughout your collection or storage area, and make it a little bit easier to find your stuff. So I'm going to go, hopefully, from this to something more like this. Actually, that doesn't work. Maybe. All right. To something a little more cleaned up and organized like this. That's so much better. All right, so let's just get right into it. I'm hoping to make this a quick video that offers at least one or two solutions for your loose collection to help you kind of organize. And I'm not going to make you watch me, organize my stuff, but I'll give you some examples. So first thing I'm going to start with is, just to get right into it, is I was out shopping with one of my kids one day, and I came across this case here at Michael's. I know that Hobby Lobby, some other places have something similar, but basically this is Simply Tidy is the name of the company that makes these. This is for, like, I think it says photo and craft keeper. So this is for, like, I think scrapbooking or something like that. But I noticed it in the aisle and I was like, oh, what is that? That looks pretty cool. That looks like something I could use. And I thought these would be perfect. I was hoping you could fit figures in here and just keep them organized. These things are stackable. They come with a case. So ideally, this is something that you could use and really be able to keep everything together and then keep them in storage if needed when they're not on display. But what I found was it's not really for your 1/12 scale figures. It is, but let me show you an example. All right, so I just grabbed a few figures out here, and I just want to show you a quick example. Lady J is a perfect example of like a 6-inch figure. This is like the best you can do with these. So even with Lady J, she's on the smaller size of the 6-inch scale. And I've seen people doing this. And that works. It's just, there's something I don't like about that. So I actually agree with people that this is a really cool way to kind of take your 6-inch figures, your 1/12 scale figures, and you can fit, how many does it fit? This is, not you, Siri. Let me turn that off. I gotta learn that for my next video. Anyway, it comes with 16 containers, so you can fit essentially 16 figures in here. I've seen some guys take a few figures and maybe put one like that and another one next to it, and then it gets kind of tight. I don't like that. That's not really the way I want to store these figures. You get to somebody bigger like him with a case on his back. It doesn't really fit, and then you can't close it. So it's a tight fit. you're going to rub on the figure or on the paint. So maybe it works for some guys. I don't really care for it. I think this is better suited for 1/18th scale. So your 3 3/4 inch figures or 3.75, whatever you want to call them. Original retro G.I. Joes, the new retro O-ring line that's coming out, Star Wars figures. They'll all fit in here comfortably, and I'll show you an example. But what I found that I like for this is there is a case that you can get on michaels.com, and I'll try and leave a link below. These are essentially pencil cases. So I ordered these. I mean, this thing is perfect, but I think it's perfect for the smaller figures. I really think that this is the way to go. Now, these are just simple pencil cases. They can fit figures. It's not tight. There's plenty of room. And you can fit all their accessories. Now, granted, maybe I didn't start with a great example. Crocmaster, you're not going to stick. Actually, I'll try Fiona. We'll see what Fiona looks like in there because her tail pops right off. Anyway, these fit so much better. These are truly stackable. I got teal, these clear cases. Now, when I leave the link below and you click on it, you're going to see there's some other colors too. So I like the idea of the clear ones for some miscellaneous figures like Marvel Legends, things that I don't normally collect. Blue I want to use for my G.I. Joes. And then there's a magenta one. It's kind of like a reddish, purplish. It's magenta that I want to use for my Cobra characters. That'll help me with organizing when I put everything away and I have them in a case. But you can see how well it's stacked. And let me just show you a couple other examples. All right, so I pulled out some of the figures. I'm not going to have you guys watch me clean all this stuff up. That's something I just got to do. But anyway, we got Lady J here. And I just want to show you that this solution is so much better because these are the old bags I had. You stack them on top of each other inside a box or just throw them in there. It's easy to lose this stuff, but also you can kind of maybe bend or warp some of the pieces. You can keep the accessories in here, and it fits right with the figure with no problem. And what I wanted to show you guys is that unlike this smaller case, you can fit all the way up to Serpentor. All right, so when you scale, or when you look at the scale and you see that you got it on the smaller side of the scale all the way to the larger side of the 1/12 scale. Any of the characters in here, they stack together fine. Another good example is Barbecue. His chest goes out a little bit because of the canister on his design. He fits in there fine and snug, and so do all his accessories. So to me, this is the solution for the 1/12 scale. It'll work with classifieds, with Marvel Legends, with Star Wars. I haven't got a lot of McFarlane stuff, so I don't think this would work, but I'm sure that there's another solution out there. Anybody has some McFarlane solutions, put in the comments below. But if you go back to this smaller container, I think it's perfect for the old vintage Joes or Star Wars or even the old Superpower stuff. But here I can keep my Dreadnoks together. And just for example, I just have Zorana and Zartan. I think it works really well, and then you're able to stack them together and keep it organized. It's so much easier. It's so much easier. If you want a nicer display for an older loose figure that's no longer carded, I have a buddy that actually makes these. I'll find a link to his store and put it in the description below. So there's a ton of great solutions out there. And again, this is for organization. This is for if you rotate your collection, what you have on your shelf, if you do any type of photography with the action figures, it just keeps everything together, and then you're able to just stack it and put it away. Just so much nicer than tossing everything into a box. So I'm going to show you one more thing. I did clean up some of my 1/18 scale or vintage Joes, and they're all now in this type of case, which is, again, it's really nice. It's a little more organized. I have all my Arctic guys together, different type of Vipers, Cobra Commanders, and so on. Better for your smaller scale figures, and so much better for your 1/12 scale figures. Hopefully this helps somebody out. Hopefully you guys can add some comments below if you have other solutions. Like, I want a solution for what I do with my bats. I want a solution for army builders. So yes, I could do one at a time in here. But if you have a lot of bats, like I said, or army builders like Vipers, you might want to keep more of them together, and this might not be the solution for that. Then again, maybe you're not an army builder. Another example I missed was, this is going to be for my Marvel Legends. I am going to get the magenta one for my Cobra. I got all blue for my G.I. Joes, and that will help me organize. So sorry if I've repeated myself a couple times here. Again, I will have links to these down below. If anybody has any suggestions for army building, leave comments below. Hopefully this helps somebody out. I think it's a really good solution. Thanks. I wasn't going to have you watch me clean up my whole collection, just give you an idea of where I'm going with it. This is much more organized. It's going to be so much easier for me to find things, to store them, and then to take them out as I need them. One thing to note is I did try some of the McFarlane figures. They definitely don't work with this method, but you know, something just a little bit larger will probably work. I'll take a look into it if anybody has any suggestions out there for McFarlane or army building when we're putting some multiples together. Leave your comments down below, and I hope this helps somebody out. Thanks, guys. Go hug somebody.